Hello, good night, everybody. Welcome to Grandshelt Nights, where we talk about FFBE on the mobile game from Square Enix. We're gonna do some in-depth breakdowns and reviews, and today we have the Fan Festa commemoration, right? The commemoration is basically the kind of wrap up of the Fan Festa units, namely one main new unit that was omitted from the last time. So joining me today is Awesome and Kuja.
Hello.
Hello.
All right,
I just
and
think it's funny that Myra is the first unit that was given an award and is the last unit to be released.
yeah, she is the first. She is definitely the first of all of the ones, and probably the least detailed, I would say, based on the amount of descriptions that they had. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just go straight into it, and we're gonna get immediately, um, right off the bat, who this new unit is, Myra.
No, we're going to
And
Aurora first.
okay,
Yeah.
let's.
Be
So Aurora's gonna be on this banner as well, on this new banner, and this is the first time that Global is getting her officially outside of the Fan Festa event itself. So, do you want to take it away, Kuja? Let's hear about what she and what can she basically, how is she right now in the
Well,
meta?
I mean, I guess since we've already talked about her once,
Yeah, just a
um,
recap.
yeah, I mean, really, she chains with a lot of different families, and that's what her strength is. Because she chains with Onion Slice, Aerial Array, AT, Divine Ruination,
disorder.
and Disorder is
With
her ability with with the regular Fryevia.
yeah.
Now, she's not like top tier, but she's very very good, and she's
Mhm.
very versatile.
I
Um,
think her versatility still keeps her in the top tier because a lot of
Yep.
the top tier units are very stuck in one way, while she has
yeah,
numerous
that's
ways she can do
fair.
it. Because not only does she have light elemental in her kit, she has a bunch of non-elemental stuff as well.
Yep.
Yep.
And with Fryevia, she can do light and ice, so she can chain up two elements with Fryevia at the same time.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
I consider her still very, very top tier.
It's just that her future
The biggest
is
problem I see with her is the fact that she uses swords. Same with
yeah.
Fryevia. Well,
Well,
she's a true double hand unit. That
mhm.
Yeah.
with a sword, and there's only one true double hand sword, and it's her STMR.
Yep.
Until CG Fury
Ever.
out.
Well, no. CG Fear is. Oh yeah, his is two-handed, right?
His TMR is a
Yeah,
two-handed.
which is only 140 attack or something like that, I think. But still,
Still,
um, her how good is she going to be into the future? She'll be good, but again, the Axe Star power creep's going to be real on her.
well, that's what one of the points I was going to bring out was that a lot of these chain families Axar can work with. So she's honestly she's not bad because she can work with Axar. She's not bad. All right. The only thing that she's not going to do is she's not going to obviously do her main skill because that's locked to light unless you put a light katana
Like
in
Katana,
Axar's hand.
I don't even think that exists,
it
does it?
Yeah,
doesn't.
we do have one. It's kind of crappy.
Oh, I thought there was a dark Katana, but I didn't remember there being a light one.
It's
Yep, I
probably like
have it.
30 attack or something crappy.
No, it's not that low, but
It's
we do have one.
terrible.
So, I mean, the biggest reason I think that Aurora Fryevia will be fine in the Axstar meta is not just because she's a light elemental chainer. It's mainly because she has a crap ton of skills, and they all. I mean, her biggest problem is her modifiers are kind of okay.
Yeah.
Her
Um,
weakest modifier is basically on a lot of people's strongest skills, which is the AT or sorry,
Hmm.
absolute AE, absolute mirror of equity, which is basically there to give her back MP. And I mean, is good that she can chain with them if she needs to, but it's not her main. That she's not going to use that for a lot of damage,
Yeah,
right? Her
but if you look
strongest
at it,
skills outside of her bread and butter, divine urination, which is light, is onion slice. That's her strongest skill.
okay, so the biggest problem is if you think of how you're going to build a hybrid, most people are going to build it one way or the other. So you're either going to build it really strong in physical or really strong in magical, which is still really hard to do, especially with the swords. So you're going to focus on basically, if you're going to focus on one type, you're going to basically take a hybrid's damage and halve it. So if you look at it, even her strongest skill, which is got a good modifier, is still only 6 times.
Yeah, which
And
is
since it,
not amazing.
well,
It's okay.
it's good because it decreases light elemental resistance, not because of the damage in it. So if you
Right.
look at, like, for example, Kingdom Hearts Cloud, his is 6.5 times, but his is also backloaded, which is why his is
Mhm.
really strong. If
You
you
have
look,
to remember that hers is also 100% imperiled.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he
what I
said
So,
said.
that.
I said that already.
Yeah.
oh,
Um,
sorry.
but that's why that one is good. But if you look at the other 3 skills, the Ariel
Mhm.
array is like 2.7. Her,
Yeah.
the onion slice is 4.5, which is about average for most units nowadays. But if you look into the future, that's pretty pitiful. And the AT one is 2. That's
Yeah,
so
and
bad.
that's where she's gonna fall off, honestly. So
I think
she's
that
good for now.
I
She's
think
gonna fall off a little bit in the future,
I
but
think she's
again,
still
all
very
units
good
will do that.
because she has
Uh,
triple cast and because she has a finishing move that you can use if you need it.
Yep, and you can probably chain finish that move as well with
Oh,
her triple cast.
but there is one good thing. Her ice and hybrid damage one with Fryevia
Disorder.
is a 15 times modifier, so it's 7.5, which
Really
is
strong.
really strong. And the biggest benefit to that is if you're using Fryevia, which you have to with this, you could break ice by 75% and light by 100% while doing, and then do this skill, and it'll just demolish things.
And even better is that this can be triple casted with regular Fryvia as well. Once they use their cooldowns, they can triple cast it.
Or LB with in Aurora Fryevia's case. So yeah,
Yeah.
very good unit. I think she'll last a while. Even in the power creep form, she still has 2 moves that can keep up. I just think the other ones are going to kind of fall off to the side. All right, so
Okay. Yep. All right. So let's move on from Aurora and move on to the main attraction. We have the new unit
Sure.
Myra, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, one thing to note about Aurora is this is the best chance to get her STMR, which is still amazing.
oh
Um,
yeah,
it is amazing to try to get. So now that she's introduced actually into the game, this is the sword is Daybreak, 160 attack, 120 magic, and two-handed, really strong.
strongest sword in
Nice
the
variant,
game. Str-
strongest sword in the game, and extremely good for anybody basically who can use swords. All
like
right, so
Fate.
let's move on. Yeah, it's yeah, Fate. It's really good for Fate since he's a true double hand wielder as well. Let's move on to Myra. She is a healer slash support character, not a
Yep.
bard.
No, but again, if you use her for her buff, she pretty much is a bard.
Well, to me, she's the dancer, like Soleil was. I
Yeah,
look at her
Kinda.
skills.
Kinda.
She's a dancer with healing abilities.
she's not locked to anything.
I like her more for her other abilities than her buff. I think
Okay,
her other
so
abilities are better.
let's go into TMR. The TMR Ago, I believe it's Agio.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Agio, I don't know.
it's a hat with 20 magic on it and 55 spirit, and it also has the effect of giving fire and light resistance by 40%.
That's pretty.
40% is pretty significant.
Mm-hmm. It's really. This
So
is a really good TMR.
yeah, it
I've,
is
I've
honestly.
I know I've heard a lot of people say that it's not very good, and I'm like, this is a
It's
pretty
yeah,
amazing TMR.
It's
it's
pretty
up there
good.
with
I
the
mean,
best. Best
It's a
TMR.
TMR. People have to realize it's not an STMR. It's a TMR. Her
Mhm.
STMR, I think, is kind of
Dookie.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her STMR, Myra's mic stand, is a staff with 10 attack, 150 spirit, and the effect is all my fans 100% spirit buff
Yeah.
when HP drops below
Critical buff.
80%.
I
Yeah.
think that's terrible. That's awful. Because, I mean, the reason why I think it's awful is it's the lowest spirit staff we have. Well, STMR wise, and the critical buff
Well,
is worse
how many
than her
stabs do you have
buffs.
to compare it to though?
Ayaka's,
And what else?
Volka's,
166.
uh, and Volka's is 100 and
64, I
something.
think
I
it
think.
was. It's
Yeah,
164, I think. And that one gives.
and Citra's
Uh,
too. I think has more spirit on it. It's a rod. Is it a staff or a
so
rod? I don't even
the
remember.
thing, the problem with this one is the buff that they give, the
It's
100% spirit buff,
garbage.
is
It's
it's
garbage.
if you're using her, you're gonna have a higher buff
Mm-hmm.
the entire time.
Yep.
So who cares? And then you've got the problem with the fact that, like, Ayaka's gives you 10% HP, 10% MP,
Mm-hmm.
and LB
More
crit
spirit.
or more spirit. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Citra's gives you summon damage, and I don't remember. Folka's gives you straight MP and more MP. I think it was after that percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So all three of those have useful secondaries.
While also
While
having more spirit,
yeah,
more straight spirit on it.
Well,
This is really bad for as a staff STMR goes
in
because
terms of if this is what you have, it's good. To
I
me,
mean
if this is what you
sure
have 4 of her, and you're never gonna need 2 of her. In my opinion, I
yeah
don't think so. So
no
this
there's
is
no
not.
reason to have
Yeah,
two of her ever,
yeah.
but it's just as an STMR goes, it's definitely not a good one.
so you were mentioning how you would use her as something other than the buff. Like, which would you
Mm-hmm.
use for her for? Because I was looking at it and I'd be stuck on the buff because that's what I would use her for the most part.
Well, I'd use her probably as a healer more than anything, more than a buffer.
Well, she does have
Uh,
the healing with the buff and the barrier with her buff as well. That's why.
Do you
yeah,
wanna
but she again to say do something like res somebody, you'd have to break away from your buff and then restart your buff over again, basically. So it kind of sucks in that. That's why I don't like it because I don't like the fact that when you start the buff, it's only 70%.
Okay,
That
so
is
to give some
bad.
just to give some context, all right? Mira basically has a lot of white magic skills that a lot of healers have. She gets a lot. She gets Esunaga, all the removing debuff magics
Yeah.
from all allies, attack, magic, defense, and spirit, which is like sort of,
Mhm.
I guess, like so. It's really good. The only person who has this is Aiko efficiently, I believe, at the moment.
I think
She has
Folka has it too, doesn't she? She
I
does.
think so. I know she has a resistance, but I don't know
Yeah.
if she has
The
a
only
remove.
thing she's really missing that's of a healer kit is Dispelga. Really,
Yeah,
that's all she's
she's
missing.
missing any sort of dispel, right?
Dispel. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, so the one thing that she's missing as well in her magic is a raise, but she has it as a skill, not
Yeah.
as magic. And the
Right.
reason why this is significant is because you can't double cast magic and an ability at the same time. So you have to kind of choose or be kind of a bit aware of that.
No, but you could cast her full revive and her heal, which
Yeah,
ultimately
yeah.
gets you the same place.
Well, so can you, if you're able to dual cast that, can you dual cast the dancing as well as casting
Any
the
ability,
raise? Okay.
any
Well,
ability.
it's any ability, but where the
Her
hell is it?
cooldowns, her cooldowns.
Is it just her cooldowns?
Yep.
That means I wish the re-raise was an ability rather than a magic in my
Mm-hmm.
case, because she does have a heal in the magic. I mean, it's not the greatest heal. It's a little bit. It's a regen basically, but s- it's available when you're using skills. She can revive one KO or the entire team, which of course, hopefully, your entire team is dead at that
I
point.
mean, honestly, if more than two people are dead, you're kind of screwed anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So
The 4U is
what?
freaking amazing. because that means she
Hmm.
has the ability to give someone her LB, which if you're using her dancing, you might not want to use her LB because you'll break it. I mean, she's pretty set if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that she is in the future more of the secondary healer slash like, you're gonna bring her for some other reason also, like, her buffing, rather than her being a primary healer. Your
But she
primary
can.
healer is gonna be more of a CG Fina or Folka with, you bring her to do a little extra,
See my
cover the
I guess.
cover the gaps and buff at the same time.
see my
Yep.
biggest problem with this unit is, um, I would use her mainly because the MP recovery is ridiculous.
Yep.
And her buffs are okay. I mean, 140 is not the best in the game, but
Mm-mm.
since you can keep it up consistently after the first turn, or is it the
Yep.
second? Um, is it the third turn? I can't remember.
You
Third
also have to
turn. Third
remember
turn.
with her buff though is a lot of the time you're gonna be dual casting intro and interlude, or interlude and
Yeah, but I mean,
outro,
when
because
it's in startup, I don't know if you can cast a dual cast intro to interlude on the startup, or
no,
if you're gonna have to cast intro and
you're
then
gonna have to
intro to
cast
interlude and then intro and then interlude outro for the third turn. So would it be the third
right.
turn you finally get that buff up, which really kind of hurts her because her buffs are
Mm-hmm.
really weak before that.
Yep.
100%, that's like Chow level
Mm-hmm.
buff, and
Well, yeah, 100% is almost like not worth doing because a lot of units have like an automatic 100% buff to like their stats.
Okay, so one thing that I brought to Kuja's attention before is that the things that she currently lacks in her kit is things that are probably going to be expected to be enhanced. All right. And I think because yes, sure, her healing abilities actually shine way more than her current buffing abilities, but that's only now. Later on, I think we're gonna her buffs are actually gonna be way more significant. And I could see them doing that. I could see them making this way worthwhile later on. So even though it's
Sure,
not
but
feasible at the moment, I think it's going to be pretty, and
I mean,
you can still use this if you time your turns well, all right, and you can get the advantage of these buffs when you need it, all right.
okay, so
So I
the
don't.
the only other thing I would have to say about this unit is she's decent at 6-star.
She is a very decent at
Sh
6 star.
she's
All of her.
yeah,
basically
she
the only
has
thing that
everything.
sucks about 6-star is she doesn't have dual cast
Right.
Yep. Well,
abilities.
she
Dual
has
cast
dual cast
abilities.
magic. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She
but she
doesn't
gets all
get.
her real moves before anyway. I mean, her cooldowns are good, but
Yeah,
not
but they
like
would
game
also
breaking.
break your dancing too, which kind of
Yep.
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she
Okay,
does
That's
have
if
so
you do it. That's if you do the dancing.
yeah.
outside of that, she does come in with one thing that's kind of interesting. She does have a divine ruination chaining skill, which is really cool to have like as a backup. It's not very high it's not a high modifier. It doesn't do any significant damage, but it's really great to have if you
Yeah.
want a person to chain with. If you
For
really need that
example,
slot efficiency.
for example, say you have Kingdom Hearts Cloud. Kingdom Hearts Cloud is a divine ruination chainer. So you take two chainers. One could be Kingdom Hearts Cloud, one could be Hio, whatever, or two clouds, whatever. It doesn't matter who you take. But on turn 4, or when Cloud gets his LB, you can use her to chain with the other unit and use Cloud to finish, and he's actually a very good finisher.
So the
So
only problem I have with thinking this way right now is mainly if you have a 6-star version of her, she can't dual cast it.
right,
And I'm not
Yeah.
positive if this one will register with dual wield.
No,
that
it's a
we don't know.
magic damaging skill, so it's not gonna.
That's what
It's
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not.
saying.
true.
I'm not positive. It says
No, it
magic
won't.
damage with
It's not
spirit
gonna work.
scaling. I wasn't positive.
And also the next drawback to that, because it's a magic damaging skill, there's no element that you can also attach to
Yeah,
it. It's always gonna
but
be
that's
non-element
not as. I don't think that's as big
detrimental.
of a problem with her.
It's
Meaning,
not
because
that big.
you're really,
You're really just
I
doing it
think,
to help build a chain for a different character to finish. Like if you have Aurora Fryevia and she's got that finishing move,
right,
Mm-hmm.
you're basically
Yep.
just saving it
or
for a
Cloud,
finishing
or
move. Yeah.
yeah.
Someone who's
Yep.
going to finish that was
If
chaining before.
Yeah, it brings you the flexibility to bring one of those units that can chain and also finish at the same time. Well, or chain or
Or
finish like
finish.
Cloud can. Yeah, you can't do
Yeah.
both.
Yep.
Cloud is, he's got a 18x finishing ability at turn 4, and then he's got his LB, which is like, I don't even remember how much damage it does, but it's a lot.
It's
Also,
solid.
we also have a move called Album Cover, which increases resistance to 1, 2, 3, 4 status ailments, along with Charm, as well as Defense and Spirit. So chances are, if you pair this with your, I guess, your intro song, you can cover attack, magic, defense, and break resistance all in one if you need to.
And it
Yep.
has two of the worst things you have to deal with. It's just confuse and petrify.
Mm-hmm.
And sleep too. Sleep's bad too, but
Well,
not as bad as
Paralyze
It's pretty.
is the other
Oh, no.
one of the three that I always hate.
Yeah.
I mean, sleep and paralyze are not as bad because sleep and paralyzed you can cure with like Asuna.
I
Yep.
think paralyze is pretty significant if you do, if you don't have a turn to cure it or whatever, right?
Yeah, at least sleep
Right.
someone could not get knocked out of it. That's why it's not as usually huge like downfall to me.
Oh, speaking of curing, she has one thing that's kind of interesting about her is that she has passives in her kit that makes her 60% chance of not being targeted. That said, right, which is really, really good. And that said, which means you basically almost never will ever use her as a evasion tank. But the thing,
Okay.
but the nice thing about this, though, right? The nice thing about this is that you kind of want her to get hit a little bit, because if she does have nice counters that give you health and give you MP back to the entire team,
Yeah,
right? She has a 50% chance of countering these
and
attacks.
both of them are very good. I'd say the
Yeah.
HP one is better than the MP one, but they're both very good.
Extremely well.
But again, you don't want your healer getting hit anyway. So I mean, if she gets hit a couple times or once, might
Well,
not be the end of the world. But
usually if you cover one, you probably might get a slap from the other. If you cover magic,
yeah,
you
I
get
don't
physical.
mind my healer getting hit because they're usually pretty tanky. The problem is her counter is only max 1 per turn on
Yep.
both of them.
Well,
I think that's what makes these skills less useful.
I mean, the MP one's only 30, which is okay.
Yeah, that's why I said
But again, I mean,
it's nice to have, but it's okay.
5K, a free 5K AoE heal is pretty nice.
And the one that she's going to get hit with more often than not is the magic hits, because she's magic tanky. She's going to have a lot of spirit,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
So
That's why I wish it
yeah,
wasn't max to 1 per turn.
so she's going to give, basically, she can give back MP to everybody, 30 MP, just innately, you could say, every turn if she's going to get hit. Right? Almost every turn, right? That's outside of her normal move kits that gives MP. So in terms of the units that we have coming in the future that use significant amount of MP, she's really not bad
We
in
already have
terms of
one of
healing.
those. It's called
Oh.
Sora.
It's called Folka as
Yeah,
well.
but I mean, Folka also does a, she's crazy at
Crazy
healing of
expensive.
MP. Well,
Yeah.
no, she's crazy good MP regener.
Oh, MP regener. I was talking about MP usage. That's
I mean,
why
I
said
would say
Sora.
she, the difference between Folka and Mira's overtime and Folka's right up front. So
What
All right.
about her cooldowns? Are any of them significant in terms of use?
Yes.
I like her
Auto
AoE
revive.
revive one is
Extremely, extremely.
yeah.
Well.
I
Yeah.
mean,
She also has a very good break. It's defense and spirit by 65%, which is not the best, but it's pretty high up there, and it also decreases fire and light resistance.
And it's available on turn 1, so it's on demand whenever you need it.
Problem
Yep.
Really
is
good
these
stuff.
only last for 1 turn, so it's going to be on the turn that she uses it. So you do not use it at the end. Use it first.
Yep.
Mhm.
Outside of that,
Her LB is probably the next biggest thing to talk about.
It's really good. I think
yeah.
it's really good again, but she's gonna be a good entruster too.
It's called Hidden Track. It removes all debuffs from all allies. It cures all status ailments. It heals at max. It heals 8,160 HP with a 30 times modifier split over 3 turns. That's
Yeah.
really significant
Mhm.
amount of MP. A lot of HP and a lot of MP as well. 150 MP split over 3 turns.
With the 0.2
Increase
modifier.
with a point 2 modifier. Increase all break resistance for all the 4 stats, and also resistance to charm for all allies for 3 turns. This is really good
It's
to
36
have.
crystals. It's super cheap for all this
It,
stuff.
yes, Rena eats your heart out.
Well,
Rena has a buff on top of it, but
yeah,
damn, this one
I
is
mean, you're
good.
saying it's super cheap, and it's
Four
not
four
exactly
cheaper.
cheap, but
no, she's
I
gonna
mean, it's
get it
not exactly
easy.
cheap LB, but it's very good. I mean, you get a lot for your
I would say
36
it's
crystals.
cheap. It's cheap for her because she has a lot of LB's building stuff in her kit.
So she has
So
she has 100% LB fill rate, so you can have the 36. So that's 17, and then you've got, or 16. Then you've got 2 LB crystals per turn. She's got just a ton built in, so that means you can put even more LB fill rate, like put a dagger on her.
mhm.
Get a dual wielding dagger on her and just put LB fill rate on it and then give her a staff. I
Yep.
mean, she's got a ton of abilities to get her LB cheap.
Yeah,
Cheap, cheap.
yeah,
Okay. So rounding up, is she amazing? Not really, but does she fare in the meta? Very much, I think.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think she'll be better in the future when there'll be a lot of trials where you're gonna want 2
Uh,
healers.
yeah.
I think that's where she's gonna shine as that second healer.
To me,
Hmm.
I kind of like the fact that she's kind of a mixture of a bard for buffs and a healer. She's a very
Mm-hmm.
strong healer with the ability to buff. That's why I liked Rena
Yep.
too, but Rena you were solely reliant on the LB. While
Mm-hmm.
her, she's very consistent
Yep.
comparatively.
I also like the fact that she can use harps and she can use shields, light shields. I think this is something that's overlooked because the only person healer that currently I know uses it is Yuna uses light shields, and
So does
being able
Folka, I think. Folka has light shields too, I believe.
and being able to use harps is pretty good because harps are usually strong in spirit, right? You probably don't want to use two-handed, but still, it's really nice to have.
They do have
All
some
right.
strong one-handed harps too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the what other banners that we have. Let's talk about the banners that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I mean, I guess we get a 25k step up for Aurora Fryevia and Myra for one.
mhm,
Um, we're also getting a free 10+1 that's got a raid up for Aurora Fryevia and Myra.
mhm,
So don't forget to do that. We're also getting the other 4 units. So we're getting a 25k step up for Malphys and Circe, and then we're getting another 25k step up for Beryl and Ellis Sparrows. Uh, you know, are they good or bad? I mean, it totally depends on how much you want those units. I mean, they've been around for a while.
and they're all not time limited, so you can
Yeah.
get them anytime.
So again,
In
like,
my opinion, if you're a very early beginner and you want to pull on these banners, then the Barrel Ellisparus one is super cheap because Ellisparus is one of the easiest true double hand characters to build in the game.
mm-hmm.
And Barrel,
And is one of
he's
the hardest to build in the
well,
game.
he's the hardest to build, but he can fill a
I
lot of
mean,
scenarios. It's just he's hard to build.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of him, but I know that a lot of people are. But I understand that because he has what he has in his kit, he's a very
Slot efficient
slot
unit.
efficient magic tank. So
Hmm.
when it comes to Circe and Malphase, Malphase is a very good unit. I really like her a lot. Um,
Yep.
Circe, when she gets more units that fit with her, she'll be a very strong unit. But right now, unless you
not
have
so
a
much.
Circe friend, you're kind of stuck not using her
Yeah.
because she doesn't match well with anybody but herself.
Right.
Hmm. At the
And she
moment.
she does a lot of damage. It's
Yeah,
just she doesn't match with anybody, and her stuff is wonky. So
so a lot of
Yeah.
people aren't don't have her up for friend unit. But
Yeah.
like I said, if you've got friend units who like her or him, was it her or him? I can't remember.
It's a her.
It's
It's
a
a
her.
her.
Okay. If you have friend units that like her, she's very strong. It's just the fact that she only works well with herself.
Yep. Um, moving on, I will say, well, we're getting a huge number of bundles that maybe
Good or
we don't.
bad, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know exactly if they're good or bad at the moment.
Well,
But we're gonna
there's
keep a
like
lookout for it.
7 or 8 bundles we're supposed to be getting.
Yep, quite a bit,
So also keep
including
in mind we might not get all of them tomorrow. I mean, like the last couple times they've kind of rolled bundles out over the week.
yeah, yeah,
So
Or they could also just put one at the beginning of it and one at the next week of it, depending on.
yeah,
yeah.
right.
We do have two of them with the same name, so maybe we might have two of them rolling out at different times.
Or it could just be one of those where you can buy more than once.
Yeah,
Also,
perhaps.
yeah,
Also,
I mean, ultimately don't really know. I know they showed that we could get a like 5-star
Guaranteed ticket, yeah.
pull that was going to be off of like 6 units, and it's going to be in one of the bundles. But honestly, that being good or bad really matters what else is in the bundle and how much it is.
Yeah, and it also depends on what you need, because those 6 units are kind of weird for this meta.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, to me, it looks like they're trying to get you
to build Aurora
to build.
Fryevia
Right.
or Myra, because I mean, Awakened
Mm-hmm.
Rain's TMR works great with Myra, and then
Yep.
his STMR works great with both of them.
Both of them. Yeah.
And then you
Yep.
have Noctis with his TMR, which is fantastic on pretty much anyone because it has evasion.
And yeah, and Aurora Fryevia though, mainly for that.
Yeah, because it has magic
So
and attack, etc.,
And then his
etc.
STMR is good for Myra.
So Myra, great unit, great, decent, very good unit. Really nice design, I must say. Based on what the drawing that was the FanFesto drawing, they made an amazing looking interpretation of the unit, and I can't wait to see her animations. Honestly, because she looks really cool. She has like a little hoodie on, like a bunny hoodie or something like that. Although the description has a kind of tragic backstory behind it, but we'll see how it looks. And Aurora, really great TMR wise. Let's talk about the event that we have. It's called Darkness Apocalypse, and it's a raid. You want to tell us what we're getting in this raid?
All right, so the big daddy of this raid is Soul of Darkness.
Yep.
It increases magic and spirit by 30% and magic evasion by 20%.
Yep.
Give it to me now. I want it. But I did hear
Yeah.
that recently that magic evasion doesn't stack, so I'm
Nope.
not exactly sure. And
At this point in time in the game, it doesn't
well,
stack, but they could change that.
I mean,
Right.
does it not stack like Ring of Lucise didn't stack in JP, or does it not stack as in like your passives and your abilities won't stack?
I
Supposedly,
believe.
from what I understand, is it takes whatever the highest is, and that's what you have.
Boo.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So this is not good for like for Chow, I guess. And like,
It would be
I mean, it's
amazing
not
for
bad for
Chow.
Chow.
no,
It's
it's
not
not bad.
bad for Chow.
But
It's not bad for any.
magic tank, any magic tank,
Yeah.
Well, doesn't Chow already have 20% magic evasion?
he has 10, I
Oh,
Yeah.
believe.
so it'll be a bit of a buff to him. So not bad. We
Yeah.
got the woven trapper cap, which
Yeah. Looks terrible.
I
in my
still think it's
opinion.
hilarious because Howell was like, "Would you wear this? Would Fryevia wear this? Just picture
It's
Fryevia. Would she wear this?
a really dumb looking
It's tacky.
item. It's
It's
very
Yeah.
tacky. The biggest
Yeah.
problem is it's kind of stuck to Aurora Fryevia because increased MP by 10% and increased MP per turn 7%. That's actually a nice buff, but the problem is attack 15, magic 15. You're gonna do something better than that.
hmm
Mm-hmm. Pretty
Um,
much.
the enchanted brooch. That's an okay amount of a spirit. It's pretty common for an accessory.
Yeah.
For straight spirit, you can get better with the percentages sometimes. But the fire and light resistance by 20%, that's not bad, but too bad it's only stuck to Mira.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I was gonna say, I mean, after getting her TMR on and just her, I mean, just most likely you probably won't use this. You'll probably use something that'll either give her something
More
else.
spirit. Yeah.
Well, either
More
more
spirit
spirit or more MP
or HP or something. Yeah.
yeah, something like that to make her more survivable or more long lasting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
then we've got the tattered overcoat, which I'm
That's
sorry,
just beginner
why?
gear. Beginner gear. That's all it is.
It looks fantastic. It's so bad.
It's just
It's
well,
a copy of the red one that we had. We had
it's
a
honestly it's not that bad. It gives you dark resistance and petrify resistance. It's not horrible.
no,
But
it's
again,
Yeah,
it's
not
not
bad.
that
it's not
great either.
horrible. It's just why the stats are so poor on it. Like give it like 10 on both of them more, and it would have been a good it would have been good robe. 20
Yeah,
defense, 35 spirit. It would have been a good robe. It wouldn't have been fantastic, but it would have been a good robe.
they could have give a little bit of percentage, like spirit or defense on it, just to kind of buff it up. Man, like you know, I don't know. It just needs
Yeah,
a little bit
I
more.
mean, I think what you kind of have to realize is a lot of the raid equipments aren't. There's usually one thing that's kind of
But if you gave it the 10
good.
buff that I was talking about, it would be on
No, no, I
standard
understand what you're
with
saying.
gear that you get in the game by playing it. Like
Yeah,
I kind
most.
I,
Yeah,
I just kind of expect the raid gear, even the lower stuff, to be comparable to stuff you can get by playing the story, and neither of these three like hit that. I mean, the spear is okay actually, damage wise, and it's a dark element, so it actually fits some aspects, but the robe and the cursed locket, those both just kind of like, I mean,
Well, I'm looking at the robe again, and one thing to remember that every time we fought this raid boss, it always did like some petrify stuff, and it was kind of dark unit, right? So it matches the unit one and two. We have to remember that Marie's robe, which is really damn good, doesn't cover dark at all. So maybe in some builds where you want to build a dark resistance
oh, wait a
team,
minute.
this isn't that bad.
I'm looking at the raid stuff. Is that true that we're getting? I don't think we're getting a UOC ticket, right? That's just a
it
copy paste. I think that's a copy paste from one of the old raids.
well, it could be in the points thing.
Uh, I mean, that's what this says. But again, this I
On
think
the
might
wiki.
be. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
even see this. We got empowering gauntlets too. I didn't even see this.
this might be a paste from the old one until we get the
Yeah, I
new
think it's a copy
information.
paste
Oh
until
yeah,
we
this looks like a
actually
Yeah,
get.
copy paste. Yep.
until we get the new information. The reason
Hmm.
why, because I'm seeing like Malfeas's thing in there, so it is definitely a
Yeah, the
copy
avian
paste.
cloaks in there, which yeah, that's the old one.
Hmm.
The Shattered Yari not strong.
It's
It's not.
Although
fine. It's
It's a
fine.
dark element spear. It's not terrible.
It's not
no, it's
terrible
Honestly,
not.
because it's dark.
No,
could be way worse.
yep.
It matches something you would find in the game, like the Onorex or whatever it was, that old great sword that you
Mm-hmm.
found in season one. That was 70 dark, and it was a great sword. This is very
Hmm.
similar.
Yeah.
The cursed locket. I mean, the only reason you would ever wear this, in my opinion, is for the effect. If you needed more MP regeneration.
I
Or if you,
doubt
yeah,
anybody's gonna
I don't think
want
anybody's
this,
going to use that unless you
even a
just
new
literally
player.
pick the game up tomorrow.
Again, I'm just saying the only reason this item is not, in my opinion, trash is because of the MP plus 3% per turn. Because 10 magic, you can find that on like the first island gear.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this isn't very good at all.
Nah.
All right. So
Okay.
far, out of all of these things, definitely pick up the first one and fill the others for whatever you need, I
Yeah,
guess.
I
Right?
think what they need to do is stop making gear that has abilities and stuff that is only on certain units because the buffs that they give you are really not that great.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they would either have to make the buffs better or they need to make it available to more than just the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
It's
agree.
like good.
Yeah,
It's good starting equipment for them, but not very strong. Um.
because like the enchanted brooch would be great if the fire and light resistance wasn't locked to Myra.
Yeah, that would
Mhm.
be a good item if it wasn't locked to Myra. Like I'd make a couple of them. Right now, I probably won't make any. The
Right.
woven trapper cap would be great too if it wasn't just locked to Aurora Fryevia, because 10% MP and MP regen is really nice to have. You could throw that on a support character and it'd be
Yeah.
nice.
Yep.
And then in this banner, I mean, like at least they'll let us pull all the Moogles from the units. It looks like we have
Hopefully.
Myra, Aurora
Hopefully,
Fryevia,
hopefully.
Well, it's listed here, so hopefully they keep that there, but they
Okay,
Yeah,
could
but
so
take it
one
again,
out.
thing.
it's gonna be 6, so the chances of you pulling multiple 100% of even one is probably unlikely.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't know exactly because of this other event that we have. By the way, just before we move on to that, we have keep in mind this raid boss and probably the challenge boss next week is going to be the same design as the original Hasiko, which kind of has a common thread of being able to drain your entire party of MP. So
Blech.
you can look forward to probably some
Yeah.
shenanigans like that. It's not a problem these days, especially with 7 stars and especially with the new healers like Myra,
Yeah,
Or
but
right?
those
Folka
battles are
that doesn't need MP
Yeah.
battles
to.
that typically use are for like newer characters, and
Hmm.
newbies are gonna have an issue with the MP drain because it is a very high amount of MP drain.
Yep. And it usually takes a while to recover.
Yep.
Outside of that, so the thing I was mentioning is that we have a Fan Festa exchange campaign,
Mm,
right? And the FanFest exchange campaign, basically during the event, we're gonna get some currency, some FFBE coin currency. Sorry, FanFesta tokens. They're right, and we're gonna get some daily that they're gonna issue to us, and we're gonna get some stuff in there, and that includes some 5% trust moogles of all of the FanFesta units, the 6 of
mm.
them that we have. So that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's kind of weird if they give us in the raid these trust moogles, then why would we need to purchase them at all?
I think
Well,
it's more
I
for
mean,
people who couldn't get it, so they'd finish it off.
yeah. Or if, like, say they're, you. I think they're also probably there for you can buy them instantly with the coins
Mm-hmm.
and get your TM right away, rather than having to wait over the course of a week and a half to 2 weeks before you would get it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way to kind of take your coins away, even though, cause, I mean,
I think it's a waste. I'm not going to argue that,
oh
but
yeah, it's a waste because you're
First of
with
all,
those coins you should be getting
Kuja,
pulls.
Kuja, why don't you run through maybe what we're getting in this campaign and what's worth getting?
Well, it's hard to say because we don't know.
What do
We know
you?
we're gonna get 3,500 coins, but we also don't know that they may make the daily mission give you extra coins at each day. So
so
it's hard to say what to buy without knowing that we're not getting,
The
say,
total?
50 coins per day, or whatever, however many coins per day we could be getting in like the daily mission. We
yeah,
Yeah.
just
but
haven't.
even if you look at like at the thing itself, there's very few things that I would even care about pulling for.
Oh yeah, it's like the
Um,
10+1 ticket, the 4-star tickets, and the regular tickets. Really.
yeah, but the thing is like if there's a new person who wants like certain characters that they couldn't get, because we got the Fan Festa units like Cowboy
Yeah.
Jake and stuff like that.
Not a.
If you really want them, they're going to be available, but there's nothing really special about them.
Nope.
I, I guess if you didn't get them at some point in time, this is just good for collection purposes.
Yep.
Sure.
All right,
Um,
But
but
and in my opinion, I would probably pull the 4 stars and the 3 stars more than I would pull the 10+1, because yes, the 10+1 is technically 11 tickets, but they're throughout the entirety of the game. So you have a chance of pulling, you have a higher chance of pulling not anything on the current banner. And if you're
mhm.
wanting to pull something on the current banner, 4 star
yeah.
tickets and 3 star tickets are just better in general. And then, of
Yep.
course, expansion vouchers, which I don't know about you, but I don't need any more any right now.
I mean, they certainly have less value than they did before, but they're still worth
Yeah, they are, and
getting,
I
depending
would
on what you were
say
going to buy, because
honestly, I would
just your
say that
items.
the amount of expansion that we put into unit space has now been now going to be used for equipment space, because
Yeah.
we are getting a lot of equipment now that we can raise TMRs a lot easier, right?
Well,
So
that plus item world, if you have multiple of one item stacked and you use item world, it's going to take up an extra slot now.
oh, and
So,
not to mention, just in every event that we're getting, it's like five
yeah.
pieces of equipment that we can craft. So that's all. This is new equipment, and especially if
Mhm.
you have ones that are dedicated to a specific person, like we just talked about, you definitely want some unit space. So
Yeah.
the expansion vouchers are still valuable, in my opinion.
Yep. Yep. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
All right. So I think we basically covered everything that's going on this week. Is
Mhm.
there anything that we want to close out with? There's still maybe, I guess, some rumors about
Xenogears.
the Xenogears, but in JP side, because they were introduced, their enhancements, and some people have rumored that we might be getting them soon. It might be the next limited banner. We don't know.
I mean, it
Um,
could be, but again, it's at least 2 weeks away.
yeah, and honestly, I can't speak for anybody, but I'm kind of glad for a break at the moment, and after this Chinese New Year event, which we've been pretty much, I would say, milking the crap out of with our energy. It's
Oh
kind of
yeah.
nice to take a break with our energy and actually maybe do like play some stuff in the game, like trials or whatever
Story.
that you need to do. Yeah, some stuff that you need to do with your energy. So it's kind of nice for that kind of break. So I'm pretty happy, and we're still getting a lot more currency still with the raid coming. So
Well, also the
um
other big thing about the Xenogears is in JP, people were so excited about it, or so excited about it because in JP, the power leap was huge when Xenogears came out. But in global, we've gotten a crap ton of units that are better than what JP had before. For example, Ellie showed up. So, in my opinion, it's not as big of a, oh my
Yeah,
God,
and
you
it's
need
not
it now.
right. Hmm.
Also, not to shy away from the fact that Eurasia is probably not going to be a big splash in global as she was in JP, because of the amount of units
Zargaboth is
that
better.
similar that are similar, or if not better, like Zargaboth. Yeah.
Well, you also
All
have
right.
Seaside Nicole, which fills in kind of one of her niches too.
Yep.
Hmm.
He is an amazing defense buffer.
Buffer.
Yep. And if you're building a defense spirit team, spirit scaling or defense scaling, that's pretty amazing to have, actually.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, I think we covered everything. Did we cover everything, guys?
I think so.
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, I
All
guess
right.
technically the story event I think is still broken. They haven't fixed it. They
Oh,
said
Nope,
they're
it
going to.
is. Oh my God, it still is. It's
oh
been driving
yeah.
me
So
insane.
So yeah, be careful and probably wait until they actually fix it to actually go in and use your energy.
So the one thing I will tell you is if you're gonna do the story event, try to finish it in one filled swoop, because if your phone goes to sleep, it'll probably break it.
yep,
Yep.
you will is a very bad bug that basically makes you lose the energy and not complete your rewards of any current story mission that you're doing.
This is the
Hmm.
So
only time where I've ever complained about the compensation that they've given us for this bug. This bug is debilitating because there's
Hmm.
yeah.
cutscenes that'll break your game. I
Yep.
I redid one of the levels 8 times to finally get through it. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought it was gonna be fixed today, but I was like, oh, I need to use energy anyways. I don't really feel like doing the Chinese New Year event, so I'll do this. And it broke, and broke,
Yep.
and broke, and I was livid at the last one.
I mean, don't.
Yep.
Yeah. I would
Uh,
just wait, 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 wait,
yep.
wait.
They said it's going to be corrected in the next app version, which is probably going to be next week. And
Well,
also,
I mean, it could be sooner than that. By the way, I mean, they
yeah.
could just be trying to because it could just to get it approved if they had to make a quick app bug fix.
Mm-hmm.
It does take a little while to get approved by Google and Apple. So
Yep.
they might not have had enough time to have it ready for this morning.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it could roll out tomorrow morning or Saturday morning
I hope
or
so.
Monday morning. So
Okay, and one last thing to mention as well is the arena this week, right? We have units Myra, Aurora, Ignacio, Lunith, and Shadow Lord as your 100% units. But keep in mind, for those of you who have Aurora, Forbidden is multi-hit physical combos, which means that you can't basically use her casting abilities. Which is really sad. Basically put the unit who's a bonus and nerf them. So that's
To high
pretty sad.
heaven.
Yeah. And also lightning attacks are forbidden as well. But you can still stop in, the units as you so please. It's just something to keep note of. Right. All right. And I think that's it for us for this week. Thank you guys for listening to us. And honestly, we do have that 10+1. I hope you get really great units. And
I'm gonna get Dookie.
I don't know. I think I like Murray. I like Myra. I hope maybe to get one. She's pretty usable still. I want to try her out. Honestly, I want to see her animations. I think she's a cool looking unit, and she pairs really well with a lot of people. So, what about you, Kuja? Any last words? Nope. Okay. Well, thank you guys, and good night.